G'day Australia, I'm Coram E, and this is the multimedia upgrade process for an Isuzu DMAX or MUX. I'm currently sitting in one of Australia's most popular four-wheel drives, the Isuzu MUX. Now, this dash is the exact same layout of the DMAX of the same year models. We're looking at about, I think, 2016 to 2020. They're all the same shape. Those years could be a little bit off. Check the website for details. Now, what we've got here is a not bad 8-inch multimedia interface, but a little bit limited on features. It's got the factory reverse camera, a HDMI input, but you do not have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is the most important thing that you need these days because it's the most legal way to operate your multimedia in the car when you're on the roads in most states in Australia. Now, some of the MUXs have the rear seat entertainment upgrade. This particular model does not, so we don't have to worry about it in this circumstance. But what we're going to do today is upgrade this with a Sony 9-inch multimedia interface, which fits very well in the dash. And because this car is pretty easy to handle, this is something that you can DIY at home. We can set this up, plug and play for you, send it out from the AudioCom stores or on the universalfuse.com.au website. Plug and play options for Sony 7-inch and 9-inch, but trust me, you want the 9-inch. It's only a couple of $100 more. The interface is so much cooler and you're future proof because screens are getting bigger and bigger. You don't want to go down a size in screen to a 7-inch. You want to go up to a 9-inch. Trust me, it looks badass and it's so much nicer to physically use on the 9-inch display. So let's get stuck into it. First things first, we're going to pop off a few panels. These are very, very easy to operate with. So you literally just need to get your fingers or a panel tool under this bottom panel and it clips away. It's that simple to start disassembling this dash. So simple, I can do it with one hand while holding the camera. Now, I was a little bit sneaky and I pre-popped this off and unplugged the harness because I've only got one hand. But the harness just simply clips out. Very simple to unplug that from the back of here just with your thumb, and you can put that safely away on the passenger seat there to continue working. Now, then you've got two Phillips head screws under the head unit here. Simply take out those Phillips head screws, and then the top section of the audio unit also pops out in a way. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. Yes, boom, there we go. So then this unit pops away and you've got a few plugs to unplug on the back there as well. Just a couple of the head unit harnesses and then the top harness for the hazard switch. So after you've got that all unplugged, you can put that away on the back seat, get that out of the way as well so you're not damaging or scratching anything. And then you've got this lovely big space to work with. Next, I'll plug in the plug and play adapter and we're going to run the microphone and then we'll show you reassembly. So taking apart the dash is that simple. You're going to then mount your microphone at the top here above the rear view mirror. Don't put it over here on the A pillar above above the steering wheel. A couple of reasons why. It's easy to knock up there. Also, if the window's down, you'll get a little bit of wind noise. And when you mount the microphone in the center, it means both the passenger and the driver can speak and be clearly understood when on Bluetooth hands-free. So that's definitely the best spot to put it. You've got plenty of mic cable lead to run down and around. We're going to tuck all this in shortly. Down along the, displace the rubber here and then tuck it in along the door. All the way down this section under the glove box. You're going to cable tighten a couple of spots under the glove box and back up into this cavity to plug into the back of the head unit. Nice and simple. So next we get all the plug and play stuff in. I'll show you how that all assembled and then we'll put this back together with the new Sony 9-inch screen fitted. Alrighty, we've got the plug and play kit all fitted now. So this is the wiring harness that does everything. All power and speakers are on this main harness. Now it's got a secondary harness here which connects to the original connector. So that's how we adapt the Isuzu plug through to, in this case, a Sony plug. That's all plug and play, except for this one wire, which is the park brake safety wire. You can bypass this by connecting to the ground, but that's not recommended and not legal. We're just doing it for display purposes only here today. Now, the other part of the adapter in this kit is for when you've selected MUX on our website checkout, you'll also get the rear camera adapter, or for if you've got a rear camera on your DMAX, make sure you select that option as well. So this little adapter plugs into a secondary specific plug here on the harness, which adapts the factory camera connector to fit your aftermarket head unit. So the original camera will still be retained. Now there's another part here as well, which is the steering wheel control interface. It's all plug and play also, and results in this little lead which will plug into the back of the head unit. So you just need to, on some head units, you'll need to go into the settings and turn on the steering wheel control interface so that that all links up as well. Now I will point something out here. We've done a slight modification on this because this is something you might want to do if you'd like a slightly more advanced install and you don't mind a little soldering. The rear view camera connector, in its default form, if you just plug and play the rear view camera, it will only work when reverse is selected, which is fine. You select reverse, the camera switches on, and then the head unit will switch to the camera view, all good. But what you'll find is on the menu of most new audio units, they have a camera button, and if you leave all this in its default mode from the factory, it will only work in reverse, and you'll select that little camera icon and it will just come up with a blank screen. The reason that is because the camera is only getting power when reverse is selected, so the camera is actually not switched on until you select reverse gear. So what we've done is snip that little loop, which is on a purple wire. If you're keen to get your test light out, and snip that little power loop and connect the camera power to 12 volt accessories and just the reverse trigger to the reverse trigger wire on the head unit, then which is what we've done here, then you'll be able to select the rear view camera at any time, whether you're going forwards or backwards, and when you select reverse, it will automatically switch to the reverse camera. So that's the best way to do it, but it does involve a little bit of cutting, a little bit of soldering, and a little bit of checking things with your test light. So only dive into that if you're confident. Otherwise, we're now all plugged and ready to do the mounting. So we'll do that next, and then we've still got to fix up this little dangly cable, which I just noticed in the background. Finish tucking that bad boy away for the mic. So how we're going to do the mounting is, first we take out these two Phillips head screws here, because these panels, the silver panels, need to pop off and away so that we can access these screws, which is where the brackets in the kit will bolt up the audio unit. Let's do that now. Oh, I almost forgot. So also in your plug and play kit will be this little antenna adapter that plugs into the factory antenna connector, which is a bit strange, and it has a little blue lead coming off it. You need to connect that blue lead to the blue lead coming off the head unit. That will provide power through to the factory antenna, which is just above here on the roof, and without power it will not tune radio stations correctly. So you must connect that little blue wire. Not entirely plug and play, but one little connection, not so bad. All right, before we get too deep into the next step of the operation, we're just gonna plug everything in and do a quick power up test to make sure that all of our connections are right and everything's working. So we've just quickly mounted the unit in the supplied brackets, quickly thrown it into place and powered up, plugged everything in so that we can check steering wheel control, make sure that's operating, which it is, check the radio reception, make sure that's auto tuning and locking in on stations well, and then we can check the, let's see if I can do this with one hand, check the rear view camera, which is also operating fine. The hatch is currently up at the moment, so it's pointing at a funny angle on this MUX. But we have full operation on all functions, and then that little camera anomaly I was telling you about before, let me show you that. So you've got a rear camera button on most new audio units on the main menu. If we select that, if we've made that little change that I suggested before, you'll get the camera image whether we're in reverse or not. We're currently in park, but if you haven't made that manual change, the camera will only work when reverse is selected. So it's something to keep in mind. You don't have to have it, but it's a nice little feature to have, so you can check that. Maybe you're towing something, you hear a bit of a funny noise, and you can check your camera at any time when you're going forward to make sure your tow hitch isn't working loose or something silly like that. Handy feature to have. All right, we've done a successful power up test. Now we know everything works and everything's functional, so we can mount this up correctly with the fascia. I'm going to take this off now and dismount it and put it all back together slowly and carefully with the mounting fascia included in your kit. Alrighty, now we've got it all back together and the fitment kit placed around there. I'm going to leave this plastic on till the client gets back, so he has the enjoyment of peeling that bad boy off. We all know how nice that is when you get a new device. Now, everything's refitted, all the factory panels back on, everything in place. This is the new replacement fit kit that comes with your kit to accommodate the unit, and you'll see the placement of the unit there. Quite nice, looks very, very good in the dash. We've got it sitting back at a good level where it's not really sticking out too much, which is all quite adjustable on these Sony units. So I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit of messing around to get the alignment right, get the placement correct. There's variable settings in the brackets that you can use to get your preferred placement via depth and angle and everything as well, and you've got to play around a little bit with the position to get it right. So take your time, be patient. As you can see, it fits quite nicely if you take that time to get it lined up well. But there we are, all done, all in, and that is the Sony 9-inch multimedia Apple CarPlay Android upgrade pack for Isuzu MUX and DMAX. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hopefully we gave you some info that helps you out today. Hit us up with some comments. We love your feedback and give some people context as to how this helped you. And we'll see you again next time.